Alright, what's up, classy asses, or formerly known as classy asses? Welcome to the first of the rebooted podcast.
Reboot?
Formerly known as Class Act Podcast,
Yep.
and now to be known as the Chipper Chap Chat.
Chipper Chap Chat.
Oh yeah.
Should we explain what that is?
Sure, give them the textbook definition.
Okay. What was it again?
Chipper, of course, means, I think it's cheerful.
Cheerful.
Happy.
Wait, cheerful and lively is chipper.
Chap, of course.
Chap is was it pal? Wait,
Man, friend, or chum.
is that what it was? Fuck, you remembered that. Good job.
Yeah. And chatting is what we're doing
what
right
we're gonna
now.
do. Wow, I fail. Anyways, that's the title. That's the title. And yeah, for the relaunch of this, it is a reboot, I suppose. Right now, makes sense.
It will be even better and hopefully a lot more frequent than the last show. So, without further ado, here we go. All right, so it's me, Furay, and of course, in the other side of the table,
Jeffrey Cruz, otherwise known as Chamba.
So, we scratched a couple things off the list of stuff to talk about, but let's do the first big thing. Is Marvel news. So I don't know how much you've even looked into any of this stuff with Spider-Man joining the MCU. How much do you know about it?
Me?
Yeah.
The most that I'm aware of is that he's gonna rock up in one of the upcoming films, most likely Civil War. He's taken the place of... Well, he's pushed back a bunch of the other Marvel movies for his Sony release. And that he's... I guess that's like he's part of the universe. Like, they might incorporate characters from the Marvel universe into the Sony flicks and vice versa.
Right.
But, yeah, it's a reboot. He's going to be a teenager. It's new casting and all that. So...
A lot of this, as far as I am aware, is still speculation.
Of course.
Based on, what little information that is known right now, which is that he's joined the MCU and that Kevin Feige said that he looks forward to really laying into the continuity of the character in a way that hasn't been done so far.
So hopefully not like, he's in high school again and you get to see everything. Most likely he should bloody be Spider-Man already.
Right, yeah, if he's not Spider-Man already, then I'm not exactly sure what the point of him will be in...
Like, he'd have done his Spider-Man duties already, I'm assuming. A couple of it, if anything. Like, we don't really know of it in the Marvel Universe because it's almost like, they're not as grand scale.
They're not. And usually Spider-Man is a lower scale.
Absolutely. He's more like the street level kind.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering how they're going to work all that stuff in. But one possibility that is open now that wasn't before is Iron Spider.
Oh, Snapple, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, because, they've got Tony now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And part of the Civil War stuff was when he joined Tony's side, Tony made him a new suit.
Oh, snap.
So I'm very curious if that will be worked in at all.
It's got goosebumps, man. I mean, there was a breeze, so that was it, but also from the thought that, didn't cross my mind at all, which was the Iron Spider suit.
And, another thing is we're kind of getting a version of what this could be based on the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
That's what I was having a discussion with a couple mates a couple days ago, because it's like, if anything, the current cartoon is a great indication of how they can incorporate Peter Parker / Spider-Man into the Marvel Universe.
And that is Disney's take.
That's exactly it. So it would be like, if they were smart, it would be similar to that.
And one thing that is interesting about that version as well is that Coulson is in that series.
That's exactly it. He's the principal.
Right, and their version of Nick Fury is clearly based on the Ultimate version,
absolutely.
which is, the Sam Jackson Nick Fury. So I'm wondering if it will be like he's in high school, and like he knows more people that have powers.
Like Iron Fist? No, they can't
No,
make.
it
They
won't be
can't.
that because they're doing those in the series.
Yeah.
But I'm
Nova?
wondering. They could. That is a way they could do Nova.
I mean,
because I know
instead of having the adult Nova,
movie.
instead of having the adult Nova, have the kid version instead.
I don't know how the kid version of Nova works. I don't know enough about his backstory.
I don't read it either, so I'm not really sure how that thing plays out. But I mean, he seems to work fine in the cartoon. So
is he a kid?
He's a teenager.
Just has the powers of the Nova Corps, or is he actually part of the Nova Corps? Is he like a Green Lantern?
Well, when you think about it, I mean, the Nova Corps are essentially like the Green Lanterns, just the Marvel equivalent.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure if he's been signed up.
Yeah,
I don't know either. I'm not sure about that.
It's interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
But it's cool to think of what people are going to be talking about now. Like the one that I really don't like, and it's a lot of people's favorite so far as new guys take over the part, is the Teen Wolf kid.
See, I've been on like
something O'Brien.
No idea. Doesn't matter. If people are listening at all and are familiar with that show, they'll know who it is. I've seen like clips because I've gone to like forums and stuff, comic forums where they would talk about this stuff, and he keeps getting brought up, right. And like they show like clips from Teen Wolf, and it's like you got people replying like, "Oh, he'd make a perfect Peter Parker / Spider-Man." There we go. Doesn't matter. But then like other people brought up what's his face from? Okay, I don't even know that movie.
Logan Lerman?
That's the guy, and I'm automatically saying nah.
No to him?
Nah, he's boring.
I think better him than Dylan O'Brien.
I think cast neither.
Well, I definitely agree with cast neither. But if it's between the two of them, I like the Logan Lerman guy visually better. I've never seen anything that he's been in.
That's probably why.
But he looks more generic Peter to me, whereas the Dylan O'Brien kid, he looks older, and this is bad to say, but I hate this dude's nose.
Sorry, that's not a Peter Parker nose, buddy.
It's not. Like, if you can look at me directly and I can see into both of your nostrils, not a good superhero nose.
He needs no. You could say it's like extra Spidey eyes.
No, like he can play like a Harry Osborn, not a Peter Parker.
I don't even want to think about casting Harry and all that stuff yet. Just let's focus on Peter.
One person that they've also talked about recently is the kid from the Kingsman movie.
Yeah, they're saying him. Isn't he a little old? I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not really sure how old the dude is.
He definitely has the kind of face where he could play a teenager.
A high schooler, like I don't know.
But it wouldn't
senior?
be early high school. Yeah,
it'd have to be a senior. Yeah. But then, if this is the Spidey that basically unveils himself as Peter Parker, he'd already have been Spider-Man for a couple of years now. One would assume.
Right.
So, who's to say that he can't be a senior in high school rather than, oh, he's fucking 14 years old.
Right.
Like, he's been Spider-Man since he was 9.
It's true. It could be weird. I mean, Miles starts, I think, when he's like 12 or 13.
But that's Miles. I know people are also saying, oh man, let's cast Donald Glover. I'm like, no.
No, he's too old at this point.
He's like...
See, but, vocally, he's fine to do it in an animated version. He
Absolutely.
still sounds quite young.
He can still sound youthful. I mean, a lot of voice actors are, like, very old.
Right.
But, in the camera, I'm like, nah. Nah, it doesn't work, man. There's so many more out there. So many more.
This dude, Taron Egerton is the guy's name.
Okay.
And he was born 89, so he's 24.
Yeah. Is this the dude from Kingsman?
From Kingsman, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I think he was like, people were saying he should have been Cyclops.
You think so?
People were saying he should have been the young Cyclops. but they cast somebody else. And
I think the dude that they cast as young Cyclops kind of like looks the part.
The current one, the new one?
Yeah, the one that's in Apocalypse or whatever.
Well, I mean, but maybe he wasn't cast because they're holding out for something else.
Right.
And who knows? Who knows what they're holding out for? So, I don't know.
I'm quite curious about that one too. Not to go too far off, but I'm really curious how the X-Men Apocalypse movies are going to fit in with everything. Because they're saying it's supposed to be 80s now.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I've also heard that Gambit is supposed to be in it. And so I don't know if Gambit's movies are going to be
in
like
the 80s.
Yeah, like 80s movies.
That would be hilarious.
That would be kind of cool, though.
That could be interesting because, like, you'd have to basically bring the mutants in that era be of 80s. Okay. Oh, are we going to go back to Spider-Man or are we going to talk X-Men now?
Definitely. We can go back to Spider-Man.
All right. Who are the other casting decisions that they're talking about?
I've heard them say Josh Hutcherson again.
He can pull off a teenager because he looks like a kid still.
Right. And he does have the extra buzz of having done Hunger Games now, whereas when he auditioned for Amazing, he hadn't done it yet.
And that like audition video was pretty dope still.
Right. I don't
know, man.
Like that kid.
Do you think his height is an issue?
No, because I mean I don't know how tall he is. He's 5'7". I feel like Peter's only supposed to be 5'8". So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it wouldn't be that off, and he can pull off young still. He's only 22.
That's true. That's true.
I just don't like him.
Who else could they do? Who are the other names that they're throwing about?
Those are the only ones I've seen.
All right, who of the actors that you know that you're familiar with would you want to see, other than the ones that have already been Peter Parker?
I would be most okay with either the Kingsman dude or Logan Lerman, even though I don't have any knowledge of him.
There's no basis at all. Like of films that you've already seen, obviously.
It's just like visually he looks more like. Oh, I guess I've seen Percy Jackson.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't remember him really in it, but I have seen it.
Doesn't it's not much to it.
And he definitely to me looks the most like a young Peter Parker. He's got like he's generic looking. There's nothing offensive about his face.
Your face is offensive.
Well,
the nose of
guys.
The nose of the other one, right?
Yeah, man. That kid, I don't know what it is. He bothers me. His face bothers me. And kind of the same deal with Hutcherson, really.
His face annoys you.
And, for playing a young dude, he's got a really, really square jaw. He's kind of got like a square head in general. The Hutcherson kid.
Okay. Whereas Logan Lerman seems more of he's average and generic enough to pull off the Peter Parker / and he's got like the build for a Spider-Man.
I don't even know what his build is like.
I don't know. I'm assuming. Yeah, assuming he would have the build. Like if he's one of the names being thrown around, one would assume that the producers and whatnot are already looking at that and like, yeah, I can see him in a Spider-Man outfit.
Right, and they said he's in Fury, but I haven't seen that one. But they say he's really good in it.
Okay, so he knows how to act. That's a good thing.
Right, and they say he's also really good in Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I also haven't seen.
I have not seen that also.
But so far, I think he's my top choice if they're going to pick anybody. But what I'm really curious about is what the hell they're going to do with the suit now. Because I was really happy with the direction it had gone.
In Amazing 2?
Yeah, in Amazing 2.
The
only thing I didn't like was that they kept the pattern and webbing texture from the Raimi series.
Yeah,
and it was very close to it.
Yeah.
So I hope that if they do it for these new movies, that they make it look like the classic costume still, but don't just copy what has already been done.
I'm hoping it actually looks good.
I want black webbing. Just give me black webbing. Why does it always have to be fucking silver?
Has it always been silver?
In all the movies, it's silver, except for Amazing Spider-Man 1, because his webbing was inverted.
That's dumb. That would be awesome if it looked like the actual Spider-Man from the comic.
Yeah, like... Now, I think the Amazing Spider-Man 2 got the closest
so
yeah, far.
No doubt. With the eyes and everything?
Right.
Yeah.
I think they got the closest so far as the mask goes, and we know the Raimi movies were still pretty close as well. I really didn't like in the Raimi movies that they added all the like rubber muscles.
That was unnecessary. And do you feel that that's what they're going to do again?
I just really hope not. I hope that they at least looked at what happened in Amazing 2 and see that all the Spider-Man stuff that they had really gotten good.
I'm curious, right? Because if this is essentially part of the Marvel Universe now, right?
Yeah.
We know Sony's doing it. It's part of the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man, I mean, we've seen the outfits and costumes of Captain America and all that type of stuff. And it's very suited because it's suited to, where they are because, they're funded by the government and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Is Spider-Man's suit actually going to look like it's been made at home?
See, now this is their opportunity here.
I want it to look like it.
I think his suit should look like that, perhaps until
he becomes Iron
taken
Spidey.
Aboard with
Yes.
the Avengers.
Yes, exactly.
Then they have a reason to give him an upgraded suit
Absolutely.
with, that looks, legit.
I mean,
and it doesn't even have to be Iron Spider, but
that's
just,
true.
More legit looking than
Don't get me wrong. I mean, like,
would make.
I'm not saying that homemade costumes are a bad thing. I've seen so many cosplayers where it's amazing, but they're cosplayers and that's what they've trained. That's what they've studied to do,
Right.
Peter Parker is not... I mean, unless, of course, a side hobby of his is cosplay. I don't know. I don't know.
They could do that.
They could. They absolutely could. It would work for these days. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it needs... Like, he's a science dude. He wants to fight. He's a superhero, right? He's a homemade superhero. So one would assume that his outfit actually looks slightly homemade.
So what if they skip the process of him making the Spider-Man outfit?
Oh, absolutely.
And go from just the like he's wearing the balaclava mask and like like the wrestling outfit from the first movie.
Oh.
Like he just wears that.
But if he had been Spider-Man for a while already, you'd think he'd at least be a little bit more established.
Maybe, but I mean, if that's what he can
unless
make
that's
for
true.
himself.
Unless that was what people knew of Spider-Man.
Right. Then he just maybe he just goes around in a hoodie, but he's got a mask on or something.
Oh, he could look like Scarlet.
Oh, that'd be wicked.
Oh, dude, that would be that would be so cool. I'm imagining it now, and that would just make me incredibly happy. I know they're never going to do that, but
man, that suit looked so good and amazing too.
Which suit? His suit. Yeah.
If they just hadn't have fucked up the villains, but at the same time in my mind, I'm like, maybe it's good that they did. I can't decide how I feel about this whole thing.
How do you feel about Amazing Spider-Man 2? Because you like it, I get that. You don't own it yet. Which is bizarre.
It is.
Like, it doesn't even make any sense at all.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think I liked every scene in that movie that was Spider-Man doing Spider-Man shit.
Mm.
It was just a matter of the villains. And it was only at certain times that the villains bothered me. Like, for example, Electro, I think once he was Electro, was mostly fine. He was passable.
Mm-hmm.
But the Max Dillon was awful. It was just too campy. And it was campy in the same way that, like,
the Raimi
Rhino was campy.
Yeah.
It was like they forgot the tone of the first movie and were just like, well, I know the first movie, everything happened at night and everything was very dark. But, kids like Spider-Man. Let's make everything light and bright and the villains be silly. And which is, maybe it would have been fine if they had established that from the beginning, but
I think that's the problem. Like the tone changed.
Yeah.
And it's like, because they were so comical.
Mm-hmm.
But like comical,
especially Rhino was ridiculous.
Like comical, not in a sense where it's like, oh, it's like comics, and I'm like, no. If you read comics, it's a comic book, absolutely, but you don't have to be a bloody goofball.
But I think that was the only issue. Like every time that they showed that suit and showed him in motion in that suit,
it was the best.
I was in heaven watching that.
Yeah, like if those aspects of him swinging and shooting his web, doing everything that Spider-Man does, was fantastic.
It was great. Even like the appearances where he just showed up at shit in the suit.
Yeah. Oh, it did it. It did it. And his banter, like, his banter was great. The lines that were written for him specifically in those scenes, great.
Yeah, I think he handled the sense of humor stuff well, and he handled the suit, and I loved the body type that they went with Andrew, because it wasn't like super buff. They didn't add all the muscles and stuff. He was sleek.
Yeah.
Streamlined. It was perfect. I think that was perfect.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna cast somebody new, you'd have to find somebody with the Spider-Man build.
Right.
But it also, like, if they are gonna go younger, you have to make him look more youthful. I feel.
And I hope that if they do go younger and they make him a teenager or whatever, that I hope that they let that be the thing that sets him apart from the rest of the team. And they could even like explain away a bunch of shit that never made sense by doing this. Like if he's young and he idolizes the actual Avengers, and that's what makes him go out and do what he does, then they could explain why his suit is red and blue. Like maybe he's way into Cap, or
maybe exactly, because I mean the spider that bit him. It had the colors red and blue, but
in the movie,
in the movie,
that's true.
I don't think that's a real spider. Yeah, like where would those colors pick? Or it's like, it's the colors of the flag.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I think if they explain it as like maybe he's a huge fan of Cap.
One would assume he would have
and Iron Man, and that's why he chose red and blue. I think that's an opportunity, though, if they do his crazy suit comes from S.H.I.E.L.D. would make sense. Like, I think in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon that's on currently,
that's how it happens?
He gets his web shooters, or he gets a better set of web shooters from S.H.I.E.L.D.
So and they advance his technology.
Right, basically.
But see, like, that's the thing. Again, we're going back to the cartoon. That's already a great basis.
I just hope they don't make it as silly as the cartoon is. With
the whole
turning into toast and shit.
I don't think they would. That would look really bizarre in live action.
Yeah, I hope it's not that.
But I mean, again, like in terms of the tone,
I
think that would be a nice starting point.
Yeah, and I'd like the idea of if like he knows Gwen and MJ at the beginning, they're just kids that go to his school. He knows Flash and all those people and has to interact with all those people. It's going to be so bizarre.
See, is this
all over again.
Are you talking about the Spider-Man film or his introduction right now into the Avengers? Because I really don't want.
In the Avengers, I don't think you're going to see any of those people.
Okay, thank goodness.
You'll see like Aunt May.
If any, I really want the focus of, of not Avengers, of Civil War, to be Cap with Iron Man and everything else beneath. The focus has to be those still. And obviously, because it's supposed to be an introduction to Black Panther.
Right.
So.
But I'm wondering if those introductions are going to be very minute. Like I have a feeling that the Civil War movie could end up being basically a starting off point. And not the complete start, middle, and end.
Yeah, I don't feel it would be. I do want the Civil War movie to stand up on its own as a film, though. Like, not just be like, this is just a launching point for the sequel of this.
Because it definitely seems like they're starting the beginnings of Civil War in Ultron
Mm.
because they're already talking about like, are you going to be on my team or his team kind of
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that's at least in Avengers 2, it's going to be more of like my team versus his team as far as like who's leading the two separate squads of Avengers. Like there's too many members to have just everybody go to one location. So
Mm-hmm.
they're probably going to split the team up. And I get that. That's like the beginnings of like his side versus my side.
Mm.
But I'm wondering what's going to be the rift that splits them apart so hard that it starts Civil War,
Something. It's got to be something. It's got to be something major.
And it definitely seems like I don't know if you saw that they released a like prelude comic for Age of Ultron.
No.
It basically just gives the backstory, I guess, for Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
See, I'm curious whether that's necessary to read prior to watching the film.
Have you read any of their other prelude comics?
Nope.
Then probably not.
All right, that's a good thing. Because I'm assuming, like we got enough information throughout the film to understand what's going on. I'm sure this is,
right.
There to fill in for those people who are, more curious about the backstory and whatnot. But hopefully it's not like there where it's like, oh, you need to know this information.
Right. And I'm pretty sure they've put out a prelude comic for every movie that they've done since like Iron Man 2. So it's probably not going to be completely necessary to
yeah,
read
that's
it.
true. That's true.
But it's interesting that they're doing it anyway, just because it seems like those two characters they've been really secretive about. They've been incredibly secretive about the Vision.
That's what makes me so more excited, man. It's like how many months? 2 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 months, dude.
Yeah.
Excite.
2.5.
One of those things.
So it comes out beginning of May, right?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe one of them.
Something like that.
I guess it comes out maybe I think at the end of April for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Are we are we done with Spider-Man? We keep going with that. What's the next thing?
The next thing I have is Peggy. Because we're actually pretty close to the end of the series so far with Peggy.
Yeah. When
so
does
I feel like I should
Shield
say
start?
Spoiler alert for anyone that is not caught up.
You should watch it, by the way, people.
It's really good. Watch it. And if you haven't watched it, maybe don't listen to this next section.
Ignore it.
But yeah, I think it's been really good so far, and I am glad that I was wrong, or at least so far that I was wrong, about her friend from the automat. Because I really like her, so I'm glad she's not.
Although they could pull something under the rug right in the end of this season.
They definitely could. I hope they don't, though. I like her.
Yeah, she's cool. She's a cool character.
How do you feel about the Dottie character?
She's cool.
Getting our first taste of the Black Widow program.
I think it's great that that they're showing that aspect of it, because it goes to show like how old that program is.
Right.
And that the Black Widow that we know isn't necessarily the only Black Widow. And I think that's establishing the fact that there could still be more than, the one Black Widow.
Well, now there'd be the ones that work still for Russia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
The Black Widow that we know is the one that's part of S.H.I.E.L.D. But then there could still be other Black Widows out there that could still be underground.
Right, like contract spies or whatever. And, I think it's also interesting that they kind of answered a question from Avengers, because they had a scene at the very beginning where she goes to re-recruit Hulk, and that little girl lures him in to whatever the area was where they were going to have their meeting.
Yep.
And he's like, "Is that little girl? Is she with you? And did they actually start that young?" And she says, "I did." So
They're showing it, yeah?
Yeah, that's kind of them showing in a way how she could have started that young, is that she was recruited for this weirdo program where they make them little girls fight to the death.
Which is intense.
All right, watch Snow White and then kill your friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because, like, it's almost like we're seeing scenes that we're almost going to see in the next Avengers film. Because then, you know how in the trailers for the Avengers film, the Age of Ultron, we're shown, like, what looks like backstory of Black Widow. But we've already seen it, in a sense, through Peggy Carter show.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
But it's also in that scene where they show her, she's definitely not a little kid. So I'm wondering, like, was she already part of it at that point, or was that supposed to be when she was first inducted? Because then it kind of reverses what she said.
Yeah.
So I hope that that's not when she first becomes
No,
part of it.
I'm thinking back. Yeah, we'll see. You know what? We'll see.
That could be when around the time that she leaves that program to be
Possibly, yeah.
But, who fucking knows at this point. So how far do you think they're going to go with Peggy? Do you think that they'll come back for a second season?
Here's the thing. I hear that the character appears in Ant-Man.
Yeah. And Age of Ultron.
Yeah, so, I mean, we know in Ant-Man, it'd most likely be back when, what's-his-face is younger. The original Ant-Man.
Right.
So, that would cover which period of time? 70s? 80s?
Yeah, probably 70s.
And
so she's going to be older then. She'll be like in her 50s at that point. Which, they could just do with age makeup. They made her look hella old for the Alzheimer's scene at the end of Cap 2, or
That's
at the
true.
middle of Cap 2. Also, on a interesting note, I rewatched the first Cap the other day, and I didn't realize that the SSR thing that they're a part of in Peggy Carter, the scientist that makes Cap is part of that as well.
Oh.
When he introduces himself to Steve Rogers, he says he's from the Strategic Scientific Reserve or whatever.
Oh.
So I didn't know there was that connection.
Interesting.
But it's also odd to me, though, because if that dude was part of it and he was buds with Howard, it's a little odd to me that the whole team of the SSR guys would immediately be all up in Howard's ass. Like, it seems like they'd give him benefit of the doubt. Like, you helped us make fucking Captain America.
Yeah, but it's almost like they want to hate him.
Right? It's just, I don't know where that would
like,
go.
based on the show, I'm like, because it's like he betrayed the country by selling the weapons, supposedly, to our enemies. Automatic, we hate you.
Yeah. What do you think the end game is for this season?
See, that's the thing. I have no idea, because you know that it has to somehow tap back into where S.H.I.E.L.D. is at.
And she can't start S.H.I.E.L.D. with Tony.
Nope.
Because if it's connected to the Marvel one-shot, she leaves at the end of that Marvel one-shot where she's still being the disrespected chick at her office to go join S.H.I.E.L.D. with Tony. Yep. So unless they go back on that,
what's the point?
Start S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Right. Unless that one shot they mix into the series, and
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it doesn't like happen at the very end. If anything, by the end of like, how many episodes do we have left? 2. Fuck. Like, even on the last episode, they could have incorporate that scene, that one-shot scene, into like halfway through that last episode, or even like 3/4 down the line.
Right.
And then by the end of the season, S.H.I.E.L.D. is up.
Yeah, they could. They could do that. I'm wondering, because right now they've got her locked up and they're about to interrogate her.
The show is good, man.
It is real good. That last episode especially.
I know. I think it's because, like, they know how to work with their production.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't obviously need a lot of money to fund the effects and all that type of stuff, but they give enough.
It's also partially, I think, because they're limited to 8 episodes. They don't have time to fuck around with filler episodes.
And I like that. I almost like the fact that it's like, check it. You've got this amount of episodes. Here's your budget. Work around it.
Right.
There's no fluffing about. We can cancel you. You are right now only signed for 1 season. Do what you can in this 1 season.
I think they're taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. And that's why I kind of like the whole Netflix series as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I'm super excited. Is that one of your topics?
I'm so excited for that. It can be because we had to get rid of a couple.
Okay. But yeah, Agent Carter, loving the series. Like, the thing is, you know how S.H.I.E.L.D. left off?
Mm-hmm.
How it's like the introduction to the possible Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
We've confirmed it's Inhumans.
It's Inhumans. Yeah. When it picks back up, it's obviously going to be more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, like, to pick it up, to transition from Agent Carter to S.H.I.E.L.D., they'll have mention of possible Inhumans? Like, there have been Inhumans for a long time already, and
Isn't Peggy?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not in the first season, anyway.
Mm.
I think their connection between Peggy and S.H.I.E.L.D. is Whitehall.
Oh, yeah.
And so they could find the alien.
Yeah.
They could find the alien shit.
Oh, that's true.
But I don't remember if they were already S.H.I.E.L.D. at that point when they had the little flashback scene of them finding the alien crate.
I'm not sure.
But I think Dum Dum was in that scene too,
yeah,
wasn't he?
I thought he was. I'm glad that he was back.
Yeah, it's weird to me that he was the only returning guy. That everybody else was.
They kind of the same characters. They just replaced him.
I think they were the same characters, just different actors.
That kind of sucks. But to be honest, he's literally the most recognizable. Unfortunately for the rest.
Right.
You know, like, yeah.
And they replaced the black dude with another black dude that I'd seen in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
so
but it was like, yeah, it's close enough.
Right, and I was surprised that
Asian
they
guy
killed
was
off the Asian guy though.
Yeah. Oh well, you know.
Like the young rookie dude, I was like, fine, he got shot, whatever. I don't even know who he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I was surprised they killed the Asian dude off. He was actually awesome in the first Cap movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was supposed to be the same Asian, but
that's the thing. I'm not sure either. But like at this point, I'm just like, you're the Howling Commandos, regardless, whatever. I'll accept it. Dum Dum's there. That's all that matters. He was the Howling Commando.
Right. As long as they got the guy who screams "Wahoo!" that's all that really matters.
That's a vital part. Right.
But also what's kind of weird is I think in that Peggy Carter flashback from S.H.I.E.L.D. That they got the actual Asian dude that was in the movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
But not in the episode where they have the Howling Commandos.
Maybe he was busy.
So, yeah. But I think they might have even got the black dude too. I don't remember if he was in that.
It doesn't matter.
But it's just funny to me. They're like, we can get these guys on for a flashback, but not for an entire episode of them. Yeah. Right? So silly.
I mean, maybe they could only film him for that flashback.
Right. I'm sure they got other jobs to do. Plus, even the dude playing Dum Dum, he's got to just be rocking that mustache all the time now.
Dude, you know what? That's probably not a real mustache.
I know it was for the movie.
Yeah,
because
I've seen mustache technology. Yes, I'm gonna call it that. And they look surprisingly real.
Right.
So it's probably just amazing makeup.
Could be. I just assumed because he did it the first time he would do it for the show.
Yeah, for the first one, it's like, this is for a movie. Of course.
What would you think of if the second series, there's she kind of leads the Howling Commandos?
I'm okay.
You'd be fine with that?
I'm fine with that, yeah. I mean, if the second season is as good as this first one, I'm okay with it. You know, like at this point they could really do whatever works for the continuity, and I'm okay with it because I like the characters. The show is well done.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's limited to, you know, the certain amount of episodes. There's no fluffing about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything is like important in a sense. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I think the Netflix show hopefully will benefit from that as well. Also, a random side note as well. Peggy Carter in the comic books was originally known as Agent 13.
Oh.
And Agent 13 is the name of
the niece?
Yeah, the girl that's in Cap 2 that he's like sort of into.
Which is the niece, right?
I don't know if they ever confirmed that or not.
Marvel, just confirm it already.
Right.
Stop fluffing about.
I don't know if that one was confirmed. I remember hearing rumors that she was supposed to be related. But I can't remember if that was if they came out and said that was official.
Regardless, yeah, that's weird. That's a random.
But it's, you know, if she is related, that's an interesting little Easter egg, I suppose. Yeah, because in her listing in the movie, her actual name is only listed as Kate.
Oh.
But it's not like she'd be Kate Carter anyway, right? Because she got married. Okay, what do you think about this? Do you think that Sousa, the gimpy one with the one leg or whatever,
the
crutch, do you think that is Peggy's husband?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. It might be, like, it could be either of those two guys. At this point.
I guess it could be.
Because right now, it's like, at the start, the other guy was always like, you know, a woman shouldn't be here, blah, blah. But throughout the whole series, he's getting more and more, like, okay, in a sense, with Peggy. Or she's getting more and more okay with him.
My only thing is, like, it seems like Sousa likes her.
Yeah.
But
because of that, he could just betray her.
It's also true. But I feel like I remember hearing something about her saying, or maybe it wasn't her that said it, but I feel like somebody said something about her husband was saved by Cap.
But he wasn't saved by Cap.
Do we know that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I'm wondering, like, he has that injury or whatever that was a war injury.
Was it a war injury, though?
I think it was. I think it was. I think that's my theory anyway, because we don't know anything for sure. But I think that Sue might have been saved by Cap, and which is why he only has an injury and not he's dead. And that is who ends up marrying her. And trying to remember where the fuck I remember hearing that her husband was saved by Cap. Did they talk about it in Winter Soldier?
Mm-mm.
I don't rewatch that movie again.
Yeah.
Especially after watching the first one again.
The first one's good.
Yeah, man. It's really good. And I actually, you know what? I like it better now that I've seen Peggy Carter.
Yeah, it's cooler, right?
Yep. I'm telling you, like, that's the only reason I noticed the SSR thing. And, you know, it's cool seeing, you know, Howard again before that series takes place and seeing Peggy before that series takes place.
You reckon it's going to be a little weird seeing the other actor for Howard Stark come back in?
Yes.
Because they look nothing alike.
Right, because it's like suddenly, once he's out of his like early 30s, he instantly looks like Walt Disney.
Yeah, that's the thing. Which is to me is amazing.
Right. Like, I thought that was great when they first showed his dad or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I was like, this is the best.
Like I was like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Absolutely.
Like that.
But then when he showed up this one, I was like, I could see that as well.
Right. It's closer to what you'd imagine a 1940s Tony Stark is like.
Absolutely. Not like what Walt Disney younger.
Right. If they did steampunk Tony Stark, pick that guy.
Oh, easily.
No,
they could still. They can't do it.
But it's just weird to me because they definitely don't look anything alike, and personality-wise, they seem like night and day. So
unless of course, unless he becomes a full-on Walt Disney once he has a son, which clearly not because the whole story of Tony Stark not really relating to his old man that much. So I don't know.
But what's also weird? What? They never once a single time mention his mom.
They never do.
Never.
He was artificially created.
He's a clone.
Oh, that would explain.
That'd be weird.
That would. Hey, why not? It's Marvel. You can do what you want.
They could. It'd be fucking weird though. But that'd be hilarious if they went that way.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm really curious of what they're doing with the MCU now. And also, I'm stoked because now Black Panther comes out on my birthday.
Do you think... All right. That's a good lead-up, actually. Do you honestly think that it was a little stupid that Marvel had to push back their film so that the Spider-Man movie can take one of the dates?
No.
Do you feel it makes sense?
The movies are still coming out on the same dates. They're just changed which movies. Because, before, it was going to be Miss Marvel that came out, or Captain Marvel that came out on my birthday. That one got pushed back.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you think they had to push back films so that they can replace, in place of one of the actual Marvel films, they put Spider-Man in instead?
I'm alright with it.
You're okay with that? I don't know. It feels weird. That means the whole Inhumans are pushed back.
Inhumans pushed back. The only ones that didn't get pushed back are the Avengers movies.
Where does the Inhumans and stuff take place between them?
Well, I mean, Inhumans could technically be its own shit. Let's see. I'm sure we can find the Marvel lineup.
And what the heck is going to happen after Avengers 3?
Oh man, I imagine if you're fighting Thanos, the guy who's got a weapon that can control everything.
You could literally restart everything, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Wow, good job, Marvel. It's like, Robert Downey, I'm sorry, we're not going to pay you $40 million a film anymore. We're bringing back, we're going to restart where Tony Stark's a kid again, or younger. Cast somebody else. Done.
Okay, so
they did it in the comics.
Now comes out 2019.
That's 2 years after?
That is the same year as Infinity War Part 2.
Titties.
Yeah.
I'm excited, dude. It's going to be so good.
And Captain Marvel and Black Panther and Infinity War Part 1 all come out in 2018.
It's good to be alive at this time of movies like this.
Yep. And Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok, and Spider-Man all come out 2017.
It's going to be a great year.
Oh, yeah. And Captain America Civil War and Doctor Strange both come out 2016.
Next year?
Yep.
What's this year?
This year is Avengers and Ant-Man.
That's it, right?
Yep.
No DC? Nothing from DC?
Let's find out. I think that Batman v Superman is this year.
Is it this year?
I think so, man.
Nah.
Because it was supposed to come out last year, I thought, and got pushed. Oh no, maybe next year. I mean, I guess it was supposed to come out summer of this year and got pushed.
You're lazy.
Because it was supposed to come out the same day as I thought it was supposed to come out the same day as Civil War.
That's dumb.
But Marvel hadn't announced what their movie was. But it makes so much more sense now if they're like, Batman vs Superman's going to come out on this date. Are you going to move Marvel? And they're like, no, we're doing fucking Cap versus Iron Man versus fucking everybody. Why would we change?
We're doing Cap versus Iron Man plus every single Marvel character.
All right.
It's literally another Avengers film, but not because it's not the Avengers that are focused. The focus is Captain America.
Well, we'll see.
I'm hoping the focus is still Captain America. It's still called Captain America.
I think Captain America is going to be the through line. And it's very likely that he, much like the comic, will die at the end of it. And we won't see Chris Evans' Cap again until Infinity War.
I don't know, man.
That's what I'm predicting for right now. I think that he's going to bite it at the end of Civil War. Bucky will take over for a bit. And then we'll get Chris Evans' Cap back when the full shit goes down.
And you know the full shit's going to go down.
Oh, yeah. He's got to come back by the time they fight Thanos, because that's what we all signed up for. We signed up for all these guys that we started with are going to fight Thanos.
It's going to be good.
I just, I'm really curious what the fuck that's going to... I hope at least one of those Infinity War movies involves him bringing back all the old villains. If there's anything they could try and sucker Hugo Weaving back into getting into that makeup, it's got to be for one of those movies.
And you know what? At that point, technology, you probably don't even need makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do this whole CG head.
It would be like a CG face, so he'd have like the dots and shit.
Right.
And it could actually look like his face is sunken in and stuff.
Yeah. Good. I mean, they ended up having to do that shit to his face anyway, even with the makeup.
That's what I'm saying. This way, it doesn't. You don't need that.
What's your name, man? Alex.
So fucking crazy. So fucking crazy. And 4 hours ago,
what?
Someone posted that Nick Fury is supposed to eat it in Civil War.
Cool.
And because that would do away with Sam's contract.
Cool. That works.
And they could get Coulson to just be the director from now on.
That makes sense. I'm okay with that. Like, Nick Fury played his part.
Right, he did, definitely.
And, like, he's not, like, the holding force of these movies. As cool as he is, it's not like he's not the vital aspect.
Who is?
Of what, the Avengers?
Yeah. Do you think that Avengers aren't the Avengers if we don't have Robert Downey Jr. anymore?
No. Not at all. I don't think, like, Robert Downey Jr. himself, he could be in the film for 5 minutes, and that'd be still more than enough.
Well, if they're like, all right, you cost too much fucking money.
Yeah.
Do you think people would be all right with their linchpin being gone?
If they remove, like, if he gets removed from the franchise appropriately, absolutely. They're not going to stop watching it because he's not there.
Right.
They're going to be, like, a little saddened, obviously. As I'm sure most of us would be. But it's not going to be like, ugh, boycotting Avengers.
Right.
We don't have Downey Jr. These films are garbage.
I just hope that if they get the Logan Lerman guy, that he nails the sense of humor of Spidey.
That's what we haven't really seen him do properly.
Because I don't want to go back to
the
Tobey Maguire.
What are you talking about? He's hilarious. Cringe face? We need cringe face. He needs to know how to do a really good, like, scrunchy face, this one.
No.
Yeah.
What did they say? Like, our Peter Parker has to be able to make himself look like a raisin?
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I think Tobey Maguire still had the best raisin face, though.
Oh, yeah, he's nailed it.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking running face is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
It's part of having a raisin.
And yeah, she's listed, Peggy Carter is listed as appearing in both Age of Ultron and Ant-Man.
Nice.
And she definitely, I feel like, is in that location where they went and found the old Black Widow place with all the beds and the handcuffs, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the same place that Cap is at in the trailers for Ultron, where he's kicking in the door.
Maybe.
It looked like the same, like, basic aesthetic. And they cut to that place a bunch of times with Whitehall in S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's true.
I just wonder... Oh yeah, also I found out through the Prelude comic thing that apparently the way that Baron von Strucker gets the staff, the Loki's staff, is that...
Oh, so they show it there rather than in any of the film? You reckon they can actually show a slight flashback in the film?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because, like, it would be, like, for people watching the film, wouldn't they be like, wait a second, how did he get it?
I mean, I definitely questioned it when we watched Cap 2. I was like, I don't know where the fuck he got that from.
That's true. But, so it shows it in the comic? Does it make sense?
Well, I think they said that the like, S.H.I.E.L.D. cleanup crew that came to pick it up passed it along. Because, you know, they still had Hydra at that point. So I guess whoever came to clean up all the wreckage and bullshit when they fought Loki in the first Avengers movie
grabbed it,
passed it along to Strucker.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's not like a really big convoluted thing.
Yeah. But
I do wonder if they'll show it at all in the movie, or they'll just go, fucking people won't give a shit.
Yeah, it's almost like, who cares? People aren't like if people question it enough, they can probably figure it out.
I'm also quite curious. Like, I'm really curious of what the hell this Avengers movie is even going to be about, man. Because they've only shown what I can imagine is all scenes from the first half of the movie. Because they've not shown any scenes of them all fighting Ultron. They've shown them fighting, like, some bots a little bit. But I've not seen anyone lay a punch or anything like that between Ultron and the Avengers themselves. And we've not seen Vision at all still. And you've got to imagine that he's got to be a part of it.
He's got to be.
And, you know, all the scenes of Hulkbuster and versus Hulk, you got to imagine that's...
I don't think that's the end either. That can't be. Yeah, there's no freaking way it is. Oh, this film's going to be gold class.
I wonder how long it's going to be, too.
It's like it's half an hour.
Oh, I would cry tears of tears. Oh, that would be sad.
That would be weird. That'd be weird. Alright, next topic. What is it?
I think that's everything.
That's everything?
List, yeah, because you took off Toy Fair.
Yeah.
And we took off Walking Dead. We can talk about where we're gonna post these podcasts.
I guess we could. Options again. We've got Libsyn. We've got that YouTube thing.
Right. And I don't know. Maybe we should just ask people how they're gonna feel about that. Like, where the best thing is. Would they rather just download them as audio, or would they rather be able to click on something on YouTube and just listen to them, even if it's not got
here's
video?
Here's the thing about YouTube that I do like personally, but then again I understand, like, if people want to listen to these on, like, you know, the train ride or bus ride to work or whatnot, you can't really stream a YouTube thing,
right?
You know, so having a downloadable link would be a good thing, but like, to have it streamed on the background, YouTube is actually a really good stream. You know, it loads quick, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think those the short little things that we plan on doing could be fun. I don't know if there's anything from this episode that we could use.
Maybe just the bit where I'm talking about what's his face's nose.
Yeah, that's fair. That's perfect, actually. Oh shit, I forgot about that. That's definitely a visual. All right. Yeah, yeah.
But I guess we'll see how these go up. But for now, at least we recorded one, and we'll get this next one out, and hopefully we'll keep it to maybe weekly or bi-weekly. Probably bi-weekly is more.
Weekly would be nice. I think depending on if something pops up, we can always record like something short.
Right. It also depends on where we're going to post these, because if it's the Libsyn thing, then they have limits.
I could always, I could always renew the other one, Podbean.
What was the issue with Podbean? They had some sort of limit, though. I feel like.
Yeah. When too many people downloaded it, it stopped the previous ones. Or I think a lot of the back episodes you can't download anymore, or something like that.
That's lame.
Yeah. So I think Libsyn is the one that I know most people use. So we'll probably end up going with that one.
It seems like maybe a better deal than the Libsyn thing.
What?
Because they've got theirs is also their starting thing is $5, but it starts you at 100 megabytes. And it says bandwidth of 100 gigabytes monthly.
For which? Podbean?
For Podbean.
Really?
That's their base price. But it says if you pay for a year's worth, the annually thing, then it's only $3 a month instead of $5, and that's still at the base. But they say if you go to unlimited audio, it's either $8 a month if you do it for a year, or $10 monthly, and that one gives you unlimited storage space for audio and unlimited bandwidth.
That one sounds good.
That does sound good.
We might have to re-sign up again with Podbean.
Yeah. So maybe Podbean's the way to go. And people seem to like it on Podbean anyway. We just kind of ran out of space.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure it out eventually, because we'll try and have this episode up, in the next day or two?
Hopefully. And if you get those, if we get the artwork done up.
And you have to find the images of his nose.
All right. I'm sure I can find plenty.
All right. So that should be it, right?
Yeah, so I guess this is a good place to stop it. Thanks for stopping by, everybody that did. Sorry it took so long.
How long was it, like a year?
Probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we say that we'll try and keep it, running again, that's actually a promise now.
Yeah, and, just forewarning ahead of time, I'm sure you guys are used to it because we've said it a lot, but just ahead of time, Rob probably won't be in a lot of them. He's just that busy.
He's a really busy guy. If anything, it's just going to be the two of us, which, if you can tolerate that, thumbs up, mate.
Right.
Thumbs
up. And if we can, from time to time, we'll try and pop in a guest or something.
We'll try and get a guest in every now and then.
Yeah. But all right, thanks for dropping by, everybody. And so, one last time, this was Royce Foray, to those who know me from the art stuff. And
this is Jeffrey Chamba Cruz.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Peace out.